Okay, this video is going to show you how to make a Google form and translate it to a quiz so it will auto grade information for your students. So I'm in my Google Drive and I'm in the folder that I want to be working on. So it's on my online work for my algebra class. So I'm going to go over to New. I will go down on New to More Info and then Google Form. So I'm going to open this Google Form, and just to kind of walk you through the process of making a Google Form, I'm going to put my title up here, which is going to be practice number 1, and that's my title. So the first question I'm going to ask my students is your name. It changes it to a short answer, which is perfect, and I'm going to make this required, so they cannot do this activity without submitting their name first. So then to continue on, if you were doing a different type of question, I could add another question here. I could import questions from another document. I can make a title and description, which is where I usually put my directions. So in here, I'm going to tell students what they're going to be doing for these problems. So I will say this assignment is going to be solve each problem by factoring completely. The first problem, typing is hard, is done for you. I'm telling them to separate each factor using a comma, then followed by a space. So I want to give them specific instructions, and I'll show you why that is later. So this is going to be the directions for this step. So now I'm going to go down. You can add another question, but I'm actually going to add a picture of the problem. Lots of times, math especially, we struggle with math print. But if you're doing, social studies or science or English, or you wanted to post like a screenshot of a reading passage, or you wanted to upload a picture, I'm going to go down here to add an image. So my first question, I'm going to do a screenshot. So it could be a screenshot of anything, but I'm going to click add image. So up here in my toolbar of my internet, I also have open the assignment that I'm going to be putting into this Google form. So I'm going to go to online work. Nope. Wrong one. Just kidding, guys. I'm on practice. I'm going to go to offline work, which I might have open right here. So I'm going to go to my offline work. I'm going to drag that closer so that I don't forget where it is again. So I'm going to offline work. So here's my first problem that I want to screenshot. So Command-Shift-4 allows me to get the screenshot target where I can draw a picture over what I want to screenshot. Again, that's Command-Shift-4. I'm going to go back to my Google form and I'm going to drag this screenshot into my problem. So there is, you can title it question 1, or since it already had a 1 with it, I don't need to have that up there. It's a little repetitive, but that's okay. So now I'm going to put down here, I'm going to put the problem because I told them that I was going to give them the answer. So the answer to number 1, so the solution is 3, comma, space 19, comma, space y, comma, space y. So I have done the prime factorization of 57y squared. So now I'm going to do another problem. I'm going to put in a picture for question number 2. Go to my document that has my questions in it. Command-Shift-4 allows me to get that target. So I can put that question directly in there. Now you could do, 5 questions at a time. You could screenshot a larger amount and have that working for you. But now I have question number 2 down here. So I now want to make, I want to make the problem so that students can type it in. So I'm going to add a question. And I want to make it required so that they have to answer it. I don't want it to be multiple choice. You could make them multiple choice. Give them different answers to pick from. I am going to make it short answer so that they are answering in their own words. But I am going to go now up to the top. So I'm scrolling up to the top. And this is where normally they type in their answers and you get it collected and you're going to get a printout or a responses page where you can go and look at their responses. You can also go and look at it in a spreadsheet form, and I'll show you that on a completed one. But I want to go back to my questions, and I want to make this, I'm going to go over here under settings. I'm going to go to quizzes. Before I go to quizzes, when I do this regularly in the classroom, I usually click limit to 1 response because when I make it a quiz, it is going to show them the correct answer. In class, I limit it to 1 response because I don't want them to click through it the first time, get all the answers, and then resubmit the assignment. I think at this time, it's not that big of a concern that we have, so I'm going to skip that part now. And I'm going to go to quizzes, so the tab quizzes, and I'm going to toggle this to make this a quiz, and it says that it's going to allow auto grading. So down here, I have it set as immediately after they click submit, they're going to get, it's going to pop up and it's going to tell them what problems they missed and what the correct answer is for the problems they missed. You can change that. You can allow them to see the missed questions. You could allow them to not see the correct answers though if you wanted them to try again. And I'm going to let them see the point value. So I'm going to keep all of those checked and I'm going to say save. So now what happens, if you go down here, the problem number 2 is right here, and they're going to type in their answers down here. I'm going to go to answer key. I'm going to make this 1 point. So over here, I'm going to make 1 point. And I'm going to type in the correct answer. So the correct answer is 2 space 3 space X. Now here's the problem. If they don't type it directly into that just like I've typed it, it's going to mark it wrong. So let's say they type in 2 comma space 3 comma and then they forget the space and they just put the X right next to it. It will mark it wrong. So I try to come up with a couple of different variations that they might put, but you can't always catch them all. And so we've done these enough in class that the students know that I always look through the spreadsheet to make sure that they did this correctly, that they had that the problem is right, even though it was marked wrong because of a typing error. So maybe, you could put some more directions up here that say like, remember, I will look at the answers. It could mark it wrong if you typed something incorrectly. But so this is what it shows to the students, or not to the students, to the teachers. And I have my correct answers listed down here. So then once I get this done, I can send this to I can link it to my Google Classroom. I can just link directly to Google Classroom because it's inside my, it's in my Google Drive. So this is what it kind of looks like. So students will get this practice, they'll answer, they'll type in their name. It gives them their directions. I have an example right here. And then this star means that it's required and they're going to type their own answers in there. What that looks like, let's see. What that looks like, so here's an example of one that I give in class. You can get your responses this way of looking to see what the answers looked like. You can go question by question to see which questions did they did well on. You can go individual student to see what they had typed in. I prefer to go to the sheet view. So if I go to the sheet view, I have it open. You can click on that and it will open in a different screen. And it allows me to, at this point, see what students answered. So I can see all of their, oh, that's a lot. I can see all of their answers. So I can go through and visually see, did they just, did some kid forget to put a space between sixth degree and polynomial? And so that actually is correct. So that allows me to see that information. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email and hopefully I can help you. But again, this is just kind of walking you through how to make a Google form that will automatically auto-grade for you and allow students to see the correct response after they have submitted it. We're just gonna remember that we have to still look at it because sometimes they're making mistakes due to typing errors instead of getting the problem actually wrong. Bye.